Supernova hair, be sure to check out my description box. I'll have all the details on this hair, including a link to their website as well as the hair listed down below. They sent over some gorgeous Brazilian straight hair. So the lengths that I have in my hair are a 22 and 3 24-inch bundles, as well as a 22-inch lace frontal. The frontal is a standard 13x4 frontal. I pretty much used all of the bundles. I have like less than half of one bundle left, but for the most part I did use all of it. And as you can see, the hair looks super good, like really good. So the bonus to this video is not only am I reviewing the hair, but I'm going to show you start to finish how I slay my frontals. But before I get into the tutorial, I'll give you a quick review on the hair. So again, my hair is pretty much 3 24s, 122, as well as a 22-inch frontal. I pretty much wanted it to be 24 inches long, and I wanted the hair to be super full at the ends. Sometimes when you get like one bundle of 24 and you like go like 18, 22, 24, the bottom is not as full as you want it to be. But the lengths that I got work pretty perfect. No problems with tangling, no excessive shedding, but I did cut my wefts, so you will find that you will get a little bit more shedding if you cut your wefts. I did construct this wig using the hot glue gun method, so it basically is a quick weave wig. So let me show you what the back of the hair looks like, and then we're going to jump into the tutorial. So disclaimer, my braid up is not flat. I have like 6 plaits under here. They're not cornrows, they're literally just braids. So if it looks a little bit lumpy, like this could be much flatter, it's because of my braid up. But I will be fixing that tomorrow so that the remainder of my videos for the month will not look crazy. But I am 8 months pregnant, so it's just been hard to wash, blow dry, braid, and all that. I've just been working with what I can. But yeah, we're going to jump into the tutorial now, and I'm going to just pretty much show you how I slay my lace closures or my lace frontals from start to finish, from bleaching the knots, tinting the lace, adding the elastic band, cutting out the baby hair, styling the baby hair, making the closure lay super flat, giving it a little bit of shine, and so forth and so on. So we're going to cut to that, and then I'll be back with my final thoughts on this hair. So today's video comes courtesy of Supernova. They were kind enough to send over some gorgeous bundles for me to share with you guys, as well as a beautiful lace frontal. I've already had a sneak peek, but I wanted to show you what the hair looks like in the package. But this video is going to be a tutorial on how I slay my lace. So we're going to start out with bleaching the knots. Now, one of the biggest issues with lace is the baby hairs and the flyaways. This lace does come with baby hairs, so you want to make sure that you brush everything to go back, because if there are baby hairs that are straggling along, when you lay it flat and you bleach your knots, you might run the risk of bleaching the actual hairs on those baby hairs, and you don't really want to do that. So you want to get that as flat as possible. The easiest thing to do is just to wet them, but you don't want to wet it too much, because if there's water on the knots, it will interfere with the bleach. So now it's time to bleach our knots. I'm just going to take a mixing bowl that I only use for bleach, a dry brush, and the last thing you're going to need is a whisk. The whisk is actually optional, and what it does is it just helps to mix a little bit better than the brush will. We're going to be using BW bleach. This is the one that I recommend because this is the one I use the most, almost exclusively to bleach my knots. If you use a different brand, I cannot tell you how it's going to turn out because I only use this one. And now I'm going to take some of my 40 volume developer and I'm going to add that to the bleaching powder. Now I don't really measure, I just eyeball it. But I'm keeping in mind that I do want this to be a very thick consistency. Definitely not runny, but I'm actually happy with this consistency. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to the lace. Now I've got my timer and I'm going to set it for 30 minutes and we'll be back when this is done. Now that we're halfway done and I have about 15 minutes left on the clock, I went ahead and just added some water to a pot, and I'm going to put this on the stove and allow it to boil so that once the lace closure is done, we can rinse it and we can go ahead and tint the lace. Salt. The next step is to add your dye. So I use the brand Ritz. I have one in the color cocoa brown, and then I also have one in the color tan. And I just take a capful or two. I'm just going to use a straw to stir that up because I don't want to use my kitchen supplies for this. Now this is my perfect shade. Go ahead and watch my full tutorial, link down below, on how I dye my lace to match my skin color, and you'll see why I use or how I choose the measurements for my skin. And we're going to do the test to see if it matches, and it definitely is the color closest to my skin. So now we're going to add the lace. This step is optional, but I'm going to go ahead and submerge the lace into this hot mixture. I've set my timer for another 30 minutes and I'll be back when it's done. Okay, so my timer went off and we are all set to go. And this is what the lace looks like against my skin all throughout. So I do not tint the lace every single time that I make a wig or bleach my knots. In this case, I really did not need to tint the lace. I don't think it made a big difference. This step is only important when you receive your lace frontals or your lace closures and you look at the lace itself and you can see that it's a bit yellow or it's a bit pale, or you know, just too tan or too light looking and it doesn't match your skin. But I did want to include this step because this is very important, especially for my brown girls. If and when you do receive lace that is not perfectly gonna match your skin, this is the time when you would do this step. And this is how I hang it, and I just go ahead and hang it like above my shower so that any excess water will leak into the shower or onto the rug and not onto the floor. And we'll be back once it's a little bit more dry. The next step would be to go ahead and to customize the frontal by going ahead and plucking out a lot of the hair and thinning out the hairline to make it look more realistic. I definitely think it needs to be customized a little bit more, but it's not so dense that you couldn't work with it as is. Now I just want to take some regular tweezers and thin it out just a little bit. What you will notice over time is that, especially when you bleach the knots, the especially the hairline, you'll notice it thin out even more. So if you take this and make it super thin how you think it will be perfect, like a week or two later, you'll notice like little bald spots in there because it's thinned out more, especially when the more you brush and manipulate the hairline. So I like to do it just a little bit more, but not too much. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and take my eyebrow razor, and I'm just going to pick up pieces of baby hair, and I'm basically going to go ahead and cut them going down. I'm gonna wait to actually style it, but in the meantime, I'm gonna cut off the actual lace, and I'm gonna add an elastic band to it. I'm going to take my Care Silk and Sheen spray and just so this is pretty much what the inside of my wig looks like. Of course, like I said, I did use the hot glue gun method, so that's what you see. And I've already added my elastic band to one side, so I'm just going to connect it on the other side, and then I'll put it on and I'll be right back. So I'm going to go ahead and clip up the hair and work on the baby hair. But this is all that baby hair that I pulled out and kind of tweezed. So this is the one that I've been using this week. The brand is Design Essentials, and it just says Sleek Edge Control. I do have it linked down below. It smells so bomb. It's like a clear, I don't know if you would call it a gel or a pomade or what, but it smells so good. I'm just going to take a brush, get a little bit in there. Pretty much the gist of what I do for baby hair. I'm going to go ahead and perfect it off camera and kind of dab off a little bit of the excess so it's not shiny or any like clumps of that pomade on it, and then I'll be right back. And then from there, of course, I can go back in with a flat iron. So I hope that tutorial was helpful for you guys. I definitely put a lot of effort into it because as I am getting bigger in this pregnancy, it's just getting super hard to do tutorials like that. So hopefully you enjoyed it and it helped to make everything make sense. I will leave all of those tutorials individually linked down below. If you think this hair is super bomb as I do, make sure you check out Supernova. I have all of their information listed down below. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up for more videos like this. Subscribe and share this video with your friends. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.